He's brought a lot to the Academy, and it's going to be a real pleasure to listen to him speak. So I'm just going to bring Battalion Chief John Alston to the podium and let him sermon us.
Sermon, okay. I'll save that for the professionals. Can I follow you? Good evening, and it is my esteemed pleasure and honor to be with you this evening. And as you can see, we fumbled with technology, try and get to where I need to be. I would just like to say in his absence, Director Andrew Moran as well, a good evening in absentia. It is indeed an honor and privilege to address the recruits, and as I often do, I will give you one command. On your feet. Now.
Cover.
Wow. Congratulating. Chief Workers. All right. I need you to do an about face. About face. That'll work. I want you to look at the faces of the people that are behind you. I do this every time. I want you to, with your eyes, thank them for their support, their career, their desires to be a firefighter. I rarely disagree with Director Fitzgerald, but I can assure you they are not firefighters yet. They were applicants, candidates, recruits. Tonight they are graduates, probies, and they will also be probies until when the next class of probies show up. You're rookies. You're joining our beloved profession. We are welcoming you with open arms this evening. We are also encouraging you, as I believe you might have even read my speech, to learn and grow. This time, about face. And please take your seats. It's also an honor to share this rostrum, this days, if you will, with some of the people that I've worked with in the past and that I admire. Director Marabella, you put your money and your aesthetic currency where your mouth is. Any person in public service, especially elected officials, will tell you on election day it is not only hectic, there are a lot of places that they need to be and a lot of faces that they need to see. And as you can see, he is here with us again here, supporting us. I'm not trying to tell you how to vote, it's too late now, but I can assure you, you always support people that support you. That's how I was raised, and I appreciate you being here. It speaks volumes of your character and commitment to us. I'm always humbled when I'm asked to speak to especially colleagues and friends. I've missed you. The last year and a half, I was in charge of training for the Jersey City Fire Department, where I would say I was born and raised. And it was kind of difficult. I had 63 recruits that I was responsible for training. And if you've heard anything, we started another 29 yesterday. So I have not been able to get out to the Union County Fire Academy as much as I wanted to. However, I do see familiar faces. Chief Working Lady Workers, Chief Steve Rule, no matter how tall you can't hide, and Paul Malul, longtime friends of mine, travel mates, colleagues that we share information with and stay in touch with each other. So it's so good to see all of you from Union County and to know that you are still fighting the good fight, as it were. When we talk about the fire service itself, it's, if I could title this, I would title it a service and a commitment. It's a service and a commitment. And as I've had the chance to talk in the past, sometimes people are here for different reasons. And as I look at your faces, as I begin to talk to you, three questions come to mind. First one is, what do you know about the fire service? And that's specifically for you. What do you know about the fire service? Is it a family member? Is it a tradition? My tradition was I grew up in a neighborhood around the corner from a firehouse. But again, what do you know about the fire service? Do you know that it's a commitment? It's not only a commitment to others, it's a commitment to yourself, it's a commitment to your colleagues, and most importantly, it's a commitment to the citizens that you serve. Do you know what you're seeing when you see the fire service? Do you see yourself? If I ask you to close your eyes said firefighter, would you see the picture of yourself, or would you see someone else? Why are you here? Is it just a job? There were no other jobs. The job market's kind of tight. I needed a job with a paycheck. Are you here as a volunteer? A commitment, a willingness to serve. The fire service is a service. Are you here for peer pressure? Or, at the very least, you don't know. Kind of like gliding in with the tide. And that happens with some of the people that come to the fire service. But again, why are you here? What do you think you signed up for? And that's got to be a personal choice for you, because again, it goes back to your personal experience. Think about the firehouses or fire stations that you've been to. The culture of the fire service. Is it a clubhouse? Is it a military installation? Is it a quasi-military installation? Or is it a place for you to get together with like-minded individuals that have the same commitment that you do? That when you show up in the morning, they have the same attitude that you do. Maybe they had a bad day last night. Maybe, you know, the new baby in the house didn't get to sleep when you wanted it to. But guess what? You still showed up ready to serve. So, what did you sign up for? Let me inform you, if you're not sure, the fire service is a public service, whether paid or volunteer. The departments that we serve support the communities that we serve. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to recognize that you're a public servant, it becomes a problem. Not only for your organization, but for you in particular. Because people aren't going to know the difference between the professional firefighter who's paid and the volunteer firefighter who acts professionally. And that's what we all strive to be. But if we're not willing to do that, there's one weak link, and it reflects poorly on all of us. And the process of these individuals, my colleagues, my friends, and my comrades in arms, is to be sure that you're clear on the service that you're going to do or provide, but also how you're going to perform it. And it's the responsibility of these gentlemen over here to ensure that it's done safely, professionally, properly. They are the custodians of all the emoluments of their office. And guess what? You're part of that process. So again, between the instructors that you have and your supervisors and chiefs and your superior officers, you also have a commitment in service. Now, let me tell you this much. In the fire service, we say that we have a common mission. We protect lives and property. We also say these things like life safety, incident stabilization, and property conservation. You heard that in your training. All of that sounds real good. But where the boots actually meet the ground, where the trucks actually show up and provide the services, when someone picks up the phone and calls for help, how does that all come together? You're going to be finding that out because you're not in the academy anymore tonight. This is the real deal. The decisions that you make, the attitude that you bring, the professionalism that you bring, all reflect not only on us, all of us, but it also affects the operation. When a chief officer or a captain or a lieutenant calls for something to get done at that fire, they have to be sure that you're capable, not only physically and mentally, but you know how you fit into the overall operation. And again, we're not going to know that tonight. Time's going to tell us what's going to happen. We always say that commonly in public safety, we want to protect and serve. But if you're not protecting and serving the communities that you belong to, or that you've sworn to protect, because again, you're wearing a badge. You're part of a sworn service. If you're not going to do that, then what are you protecting and serving? And unfortunately, we're seeing a shift in the fire services. Fortunately, it's minimal. And thank God that some of our traditions have not been lost. Professionalism has always been the key for us. Does anybody remember the public phone in the firehouse? Just nod if you did. The public phone in the firehouse, I know that they're missing now because everybody's got one of these in their pocket. But the public phone in the firehouse, believe it or not, did a whole lot for us. What the public phone in the firehouse did, it not only limited your conversations in the firehouse, it limited your outside focus. It allowed you to focus more on what was going on. It allowed you to manage your time in the fire service. It also made you watch what you say. You were more respectful, especially of those that you worked with. But here was the real big thing. You didn't discuss family or personal problems, money, sex, religion, or politics. Walk into any firehouse now. Walk into any firehouse kitchen. And Father, you may have to walk with me the next time I walk into a firehouse kitchen. You will not believe what you hear and what you see. And a lot of that has gone because now we've focused onto this new technology. Everyone's got smartphones now. I'm going to give you the first Alston. The phones are getting smarter, but sometimes the people aren't. The things that we do with these phones inside the firehouse. And I know what you do because you post it on Facebook. I'm out there, I see it. And so do your chief officers. It allowed us to focus outside of the fire service, which diminished our camaraderie, diminished how we felt about each other. It increases isolationism. It elevates the individual and diminishes crew integrity. It happens. We've seen it. Look around. Those of us that still have our hair, gray hair, and a light, we've seen the transition, and we're concerned about it. Again, what you have to be careful about is what you put out there. We put out a product as the fire service, and we're professional, whether you're paid or volunteer. It's a professional product. But again, all of us have to be committed. What are you committed to? What commitment have you made tonight, other than putting the uniform on and raising your right hand in your individual departments? If you ask any of these gentlemen and ladies who are wearing any of this gold or any of these ranked or any time whatsoever in this service, they can tell you what commitment is. They can demonstrate it to you. They can tell you specific stories. There are 4 areas of commitment, and I'm going to move to my seat. 4 areas. You have to have a commitment to yourself. Believe it or not, self-preservation is the first law of nature. You have to be respectful of yourself. You have to be physically and mentally ready to do and be the best that you can be. I am so proud when I talk about being the best. My wife Cheryl's here. She's not looking at me now. She knows I'm all the time. That's what she does. Believe it or not, she's an athlete and has been since she has been in high school and grammar school. Master's track. Those of you with smartphones, you can Google Cheryl Alston track and field. But she always talked about her personal best. And some of the meets that I would go to, where she came home with buckets full of medals. It wasn't her personal best. What's the matter? That wasn't my personal best. I know that I didn't do all that I could have done. Did you win the race? Yeah. Were you standing on the podium? Yeah. That's good enough for me. It wasn't her personal best. What's your personal best? Do you know it when you see it? Do you know how to find it if it's not there? Do you know how to evaluate yourself and make the necessary changes to get yourself on the right track? And or do you have the courage to ask someone for the help when you don't know? Because the help's there. It's on this side and this side of you right now. And your support is behind you and your family. But are you courageous enough to admit you don't know? And unfortunately, firefighters, we don't tell a lot of people what we don't know. Ask a firefighter what they know, they'll never shut up. But do you have the courage to do it? That's going to help you. Be prepared to learn and evaluate. What is your commitment to your family? They know that this is what you wanted to do. But again, when you have to run out of the house, or you have to go on shift, or you don't come home that morning because you've got an extended operation, they're managing your entire life and environment for you while you're away being a firefighter. Are you committing to them to be the best that you can be? Do you have a commitment to your organization? Do you know the organization that you're joining? Are you familiar with it? Do you know exactly what it means to be a service member in that community? Do you know? And also, do you have a commitment to people? Do you like people? Because we're in a people business. And if you don't like people, it's going to show. 80% of all communication is nonverbal, not 50 or 60. People will know when you show up on their doorstep at all hours of the night when they call you, whether you care or not. Are you committed to being a helpful person, courteous, compassionate? Are you committed to that? Because if you're not, they're going to know. Well done is better than well said. First fire chief, volunteer fire chief in the United States has been Frank. Well done is better than well said. Don't tell us what you're going to do in the fire service. These chief officers have seen it all. These instructors have heard it all. Don't say it, do it. Or in the parlance that they have to younger sons, don't talk about it, be about it. Do it. Tonight you embark on a journey. Does anybody know the difference between a trip and a journey? Okay, I'll tell you. A trip is short, direct, limited in duration, limited in scope, and it can be spontaneous. But a journey is well planned, well prepared. It may take some time. It may take some turns. It may take endurance on your part. But I can assure you, tonight I wish you much success in your journey. I also hope that in the future, that you will understand that success is not a big step in the future. It's a small step that you take just now. So just now, while you're here, I want you to be sure